So today I want to talk about everything as a service. So physical things as a service. So let's start off. How do I explain this? So, what do I mean by as a service? Right now, everything or most of the things that we purchase and buy, we buy it as a product. So, for example, clothes, we 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 buy it and then it changes ownership. So we're now the new owner of the clothing. We bought it from somebody else, usually like a retail store or a company, and now we change ownership because we bought it. Another thing that we do this is with cars, right? We buy cars, it changes ownership. Food, um, cell phones, smartphones, laptops, computers, anything, cameras, almost anything right now. A lot of things actually we buy as physical goods and we buy them. Now the problem with this is because it changes ownership. We now own it and we're happy about that. But at the same time, it also changes the responsibility or who's going to take care of this thing if it gets broken. So now if it gets broken, I have to be the one who have to take this thing that I bought that's now mine and have it repaired. Now if it was under warranty, yay, I can have it repaired under that, for example like a smartphone, but I have to have it repaired. If it was my clothing and it got torn, I have to make the decision of whether I have to make it like sewn up or something, to have it repaired. Now when the end of life of a product comes, like for example like this shirt, I don't like it anymore, it's torn or something, I the responsibility of also disposing of that properly is on me or of the owner. So if a smartphone gets broken or I don't know, or the person who owns it no longer wants to use it, the responsibility of disposing it properly also lies on that person now. Now that was where really the problem is, because that flow is like the owner, the original owner, which or the producer or the manufacturer, the one that sold it good, was initially responsible, but when they transferred the ownership and responsibility to the buyer, to the user, the person loves the ownership but really sucks at being responsible for disposing it properly. Like, just let it stay in the trash, or just let it stay in my closet if it's a clothing. Smartphones, just put it on the side or dispose of it responsibly. So there's really little responsibility, and it's also because there's a lack of expertise in like how they should actually dispose it. So because of this lack of expertise, then people just maybe don't even know how to dispose of properly. They don't even know how to make use or recycle what's in there, because they don't even know it. For example, your smartphone. Do you know what's even recyclable in your smartphone? Do you even know like which parts can be reused? And if you don't know, then you can't do anything about it. And if you knew, would you even care? Would you have the motivation to even recycle it? Except for like being a responsible and caring to the environment kind of person. So that's really where the problem is. But we don't really see the problem right now because we're so used to it. So let me try to explain what the alternative is. Like, what is an alternative or possible scenario? Now, what if instead, and this is where the as a service comes in. So what if instead a smartphone manufacturer, instead of selling to you a smartphone that you buy as a product, it sold to you the service of having a smartphone that you paid for monthly. So for example, what happens is that I go to, let's just say, Samsung or Apple, and I go like, I want a smartphone. And they're like, sure, we will give you the service of having a smartphone. It's only $30 a month. And it also comes with a data plan. Yay! So then you pay $30 a month and they give you a phone. Now this phone is not yours. It's just, as long as you continue paying for it, you can hold on to it and use it, because you're not buying the phone, you're just paying for the service of having a phone. Now if you stop paying, then you return the phone because it's not yours, it stops. But if you continue paying, you continue using it. Now if the phone breaks, it's not your phone. So when the phone breaks, what happens is the company can no longer provide you the service that you're paying for monthly. So what do? So that you continue paying, they'd be like, oh, let me replace that broken phone with a new phone that's not broken, so you can continue, so that we can continue providing you the service of having a smartphone. And so here you are saying, oh, my phone's broken. Oh, correction, sir, that's not your phone, that's our phone. But we'll give you this other phone, our phone still, that is working, so that you can use it and continue availing of the service of having a working smartphone. So the beauty about that also is that what if over like a period of a year, the smartphone that you're using is no longer trendy, it's not the latest, it's not the best features, it's kind of slow. You go like, you know what, I'm not really enjoying your service right now, which is a service of me having a smartphone, because the smartphone that I'm using is not so great. It's like, okay, don't worry, sir. Instead of not stopping your subscription from our service, you can continue your subscription. We'll give you the latest and greatest phone so that you're happy. And so then they replace that. They take back their old phone, you get a new phone, and you're happy. And they continue to benefit from that because you continue to pay, and you continue to pay because you are enjoying this benefit. The benefit of having the latest and greatest smartphone. Now, what happens to that old phone? I think this is where the change happens and where it's really critical. The old phone is now in the possession of the manufacturer, which is the expert. They made the parts, they know everything inside that phone. And at the same time, they're a business. They're really run to like make sure that nothing is put to waste. And so when the old phone comes in, the engineers come in and be like, oh, we have this stack of really old phones. Let's just throw them away. Let's dispose them. But the CEO will be like, what? You're throwing away assets, potential parts? And so the engineer will be like, well, we can't use them right now. And then so we can't really use them right now. And so, and then the CEO goes, why can't we use them? And the engineers reply, because they're old parts, and they're like, they're not recyclable. And the CEO goes, why are they not recyclable? And the engineers go, well, because they weren't really designed to be recyclable. And the CEO goes, well, why didn't you design it to be recyclable? Like, because we were not told to make it recyclable. And the CEO goes, well, make it recyclable. Everything that comes in the company right now that we build has to be recyclable from the very beginning. And we do this so that we are not throwing away parts, we're not throwing away assets, we're not throwing away future components, so that we can make cheaper phones in the future that we can give to our subscribers, and they will still continue to pay the same amount. But because it's cost us cheaper to manufacture these new phones because we made them out of recycled material, but they don't know that because we do it so well, then we make a bigger margin. We've saved on costs, but at the same time, the customers pay the same, so we have a bigger margin. So by being good businessmen and being a good business, by driving our costs down, we've essentially provided a better service to our customers. But at the same time, we've taken care of the environment because we're not throwing as much stuff anymore. Now think about clothing. How many of your clothes do you actually just throw away, right? And not recycle. What if the people who made clothes, you just pay them monthly and they provide you new fresh of clothing every week, every month, and every 2 months, and then they give you fresh clothing, and when you don't like it anymore, you give it back to them, you get new sets of trendy whatever. Now will they be like, and you pay them monthly as a service of clothing. Now will they be motivated to throw away this clothing? Or I think what would happen is that they will be more motivated to figure out how to make this old fabric into new clothes. And if it was really hard, then they would really ask the question themselves, like, why are we making fabric that is difficult to recycle? So then they will try to make fabric that is easy to recycle in the first place, because they will be the one to recycle it anyway at the end, so that there will be no spoilage and no waste. So driven by the desire to make more money, to drive costs lower, businesses actually start to make the right environmental choice without even caring about the environment, just by caring about their bottom line. So I think a lot of products and even current products can benefit from a shift from a business model of a product-based transfer ownership business model to a service-based. They just provide a service, keep the product, keep the ownership of the physical good, and just focus on the actual benefit, which is the consumer. The consumer is happier because they get the benefit all the time, and their benefit is addressed. the benefit is completely addressed. Like if my phone breaks, I don't have to worry about repairing it. I get a new phone right away, and then the benefit of having a phone does not end when you consume. And at the same time, the business benefits, because they're not always just receiving one time every time they sell, one time money, but they're getting continuous stream of income because they get like paid per subscription. So they have a constant stream of income coming in, instead of like, you know, one by one, like they have to market these products and sell and keep on selling and keep on pushing it. So that's one of the, and everybody wins because the environment benefits from reduced waste. Actually, it's weird to say that the environment benefits from reduced waste, because the environment does not benefit. We benefit from the environment. So we benefit from an environment that has reduced waste. So overall, we all win. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. This is some idea that I've been having for a while, but just really put it there for the first time. So let me know what you think, and be kind. Thank you very much.